Hi everyone and welcome to this new video. In this online lesson, I'm going to be working with the impersonal passive. This is perhaps one of the most complex points regarding the passive. It's still going to be a passive, but more precisely this kind of passive that we use when we want to share rumors with people. We are all gossip and sometimes we do not want to specify who said that. Okay, and in that case, we make use of the impersonal passive. But let me explain you this more in depth. So, as you can see in the picture above, we use the impersonal passive to share rumors. Imagine that I give you the sentence, people say that women live longer than men. The main difference between this sentence and the ones we've been working with before in the previous videos is that this sentence is a complex sentence. Complex sentence in English is the same as oración subordinada. De hecho, es una oración que en este caso pues tiene dos verbos, ¿vale? Y que está introducido por ese that. Ese that me introduce la subordinada, ¿vale? Entonces, en este caso puedo ver diferentes aspectos que me llaman la atención. No solo el hecho de que sea una subordinada, sino que tengo un sujeto, that is people. So once again, this kind of unknown subject, ¿vale? No me quiero mojar, no quiero decir quién es el que me ha comentado este rumor, ¿vale? Entonces, en este caso, people. I also have a saying verb. Tengo un verbo de decir cosas, de pensamiento. Let me show you other examples. Something like believe, think, consider, say, report. All of these verbs will also work with impersonal passives. They are part of this structure. And apart from that, here we can see the subordinate clause, the complex clause, as I was mentioning. So as you can see here, if we find this structure in a sentence, like in an active sentence, please watch out, ¿vale? Es decir, si nos encontramos en nuestros ejercicios de activa, ¿vale? Una oración de este estilo, con un sujeto que suele ser people, que suele ser someone, que suele ser they, un sujeto como intangible que no te aporta nada, ¿vale? Después, seguido de un verbo de decir cosas, de pensamiento, ¿vale? Esté en el tiempo en el que esté y después ese that y todo lo demás, no tiene por qué aparecer that, ¿vale? Suelen ponerlo para que sea un poco más visual y veamos que se mete la subordinada, no tiene por qué, ¿vale? Pero bueno, tendríamos esta estructura. Si tenemos este tipo de oración, watch out, because we are in front of an impersonal passive. And as we are going to see throughout the rest of the slides, there are going to be two different possibilities. So two different ways of creating the passive. The first type of passive that we can create is the one I decided to call it passive. This is the well-known impersonal passive, and it's the easiest type of passive from the impersonal ones. Imagine that we are given the same sentence we were working with in the active, a complex sentence, and as you can see, there's a main subject, there's a main verb, and then a complex or a subordinate clause. So what I would do in whatever the passive is to take the subject and to place it at the very end and introduce it with by. Lo que haría sería coger people y meterlo al final del todo con by. Al ser tan obvio y tan desconocido, porque no tengo ni idea de quiénes son estas personas, ni siquiera lo introduciría. Pero lo que sí que haría sería meter el say en pasiva. Since it's in the present form, present simple, I would create a present simple passive, ¿vale? Y en este caso mantendría mi oración subordinada de esta forma, un copia y pega. Así que aquí podéis ver el cambio del verbo en pasiva, a pesar de que tenga dos verbos, es cierto que este es el principal, el otro es el de la subordinada, que de momento no me importa, porque tal y como he dicho, la subordinada se queda tal cual, no la toco. Ahora, there's a problem, and is that in English, subject must always be fulfilled. Los sujetos siempre tienen que estar... siempre tienen que aparecer, ¿vale? Siempre tiene que haber algo, no puedo dejar un hueco. Por eso las oraciones impersonales son posibles en español. Yo puedo decir llueve y no especificar que llueve ni nada, ¿vale? Sin embargo, en inglés no es posible y por eso yo siempre tengo que decir it rains, a pesar de que no tenga ningún sentido decir ello llueve. De esta misma manera, esta oración tampoco se puede quedar sin sujeto y por tanto, lo que voy a meter va a ser it. De ahí ya lo relaciono todo, que ha llamado a este tipo de pasiva it passive. The only thing that I need to do is to replace the subject for it okay, by it, basically, and then take the verb and place it into its passive form, and the rest of the sentence is going to be kept as such. Okay, I'm not going to touch the subordinate clause at all. But watch out, because the next type of passive is going to be much more complicated. So this kind of passive is the one I decided to call the weird passive, the strange one, the difficult one. It doesn't make sense in Spanish, okay, but it does in English, once again. This is also called as the to-infinitive passive. You'll see now why. People say that women live longer than men. Remember that I could say this it passive or impersonal passive. It is said that women live longer than men. I forgot to mention that this type of passive is translated into Spanish as se dice que no sé qué, no sé cuánto. Y, jolín, tiene mucho más sentido y mucha más clase y parece mucho más avanzado decir se dice que no sé qué, no sé cuánto, que las personas dicen que, ¿vale? Que sería un nivel muy básico y que no tiene ningún tipo de sentido. Ahora, también es posible, ¿vale? Crear otro tipo de pasiva mucho más avanzada, que insisto, no tiene sentido en español, pero sí lo tiene en inglés. Y es que yo podría decir esto, ¿vale? Para completar ese hueco vacío, en vez de utilizar it, podría completarlo, podría rellenarlo con el sujeto de la subordinada. Yo podría coger women y ponerlo para rellenar ese hueco, con lo cual it desaparecería. Seguiría manteniendo mi verbo en pasiva, ¿vale? Es decir, lo que pasa es que tendría que adaptarlo al plural, ¿vale? Como women es un plural, mujeres, woman es una mujer y women son dos o más, en este caso tendría que ser are said, pero sigo manteniendo el tiempo de presente simple, ¿vale? Y en este caso, visto que he hecho desaparecer el sujeto de la subordinada, tengo que meter an infinitive clause. Eso significa que como women desaparece de la subordinada, yo no podría decir women are said that live longer. No tendría ningún sentido. Con lo cual, lo único que me queda por hacer es meter ese live, ese verbo, con to live longer than men. Si ese live apareciese en pasado, pues podría decir to have lived longer than men. Pero bueno, ya se verán ejemplos y tendréis ejemplos también para practicar. So that is the second possibility. Fulfilling the it gap with the subject of the subordinate clause and then including an infinitive clause. This, as I was saying, doesn't make sense in Spanish. We would never say las mujeres son dichas de vivir más que los hombres, ¿vale? Pero en inglés tiene todo el sentido del mundo. This is just a kind of summary of what I have explained. Remember, first of all, from above, that you can see all these kind of thinking and saying verbs. They are crucial because we need to watch out when we find that kind of structure. Siempre tenemos que tener cuidado cuando nos encontremos una estructura del tipo un sujeto completamente desconocido, que insisto suele ser people, they or someone, después un verbo de saying or thinking y una subordinada, ¿vale? Puede aparecer con that o no. Entonces, ese sujeto es completamente unknown y me pide que cree una pasiva, porque es que no soy tan básico como eso. Mi primera pasiva va a ser con it. It is said that women live longer than men y no toco la subordinada. Y mi segunda pasiva, esa más compleja con el to infinitive, va a ser a través del sujeto de la subordinada, poniéndolo para rellenar esa posición que se me quedaba vacía y que previamente había sustituido o completado con ese it, ¿vale? Porque el sujeto nunca se puede quedar vacío. Y después are said to live longer than men. Recordad que es obligatorio meter ese infinitivo. Let me illustrate this by means of a different example. In this slide, you can see a different example of another impersonal passive. So, for instance, if the sentence were many people believe, instead of say, we can also find believe, that is a thinking verb, that's okay, that unemployed people need support. Es una especie de rumor, imaginaos, donde tengo un sujeto completamente unknown, no sé quién son many people, no me los imagino, por eso esa imagen, me imagino cabezas, me imagino interrogaciones, pero nunca una persona en concreto. Believe that unemployed people need support. This allows me to create two different passives. It is believed that unemployed people need support, or I can take that unemployed people, that is the subject of the subordinate, and I can front it. Unemployed people are believed to need support. So this is just another example, but once again, this is where you can see, okay, the two possibilities, either with it or either with the subject of the subordinate. Yet, as always, we need to practice, and this is exactly what we are going to do in the following slide. In this slide, you can see different sentences, okay? The first one that I'm going to go super fast with those ones are going to be simple active to passive sentences like the ones we've been practicing before, but the last three are going to be characteristic of the impersonal passives. So let me just show you, well, these ones, okay, that we've already worked with them. They are quite simple. Be careful with the questions because they keep on having the same structure of the question. 5 and 6 from the ones below are going to be, as well as 4, are going to be this kind of double object passive that we've also seen in previous videos, but 7, 8, and 9 from the last ones are typical examples of the impersonal passive. In these cases, I want you to create the two possibilities, the it one and the weird or to-infinitive one. So stop the video, do it, and then we check it together. Great. So supposing you've already finished, if you pay attention, those three sentences follow the same structure. We have an unknown subject, then we have a saying or thinking verb, and then we have a complex or subordinate clause. So people know that she is a good swimmer. I can say, it is said that she is a good swimmer, or she is said to be a good swimmer. They think that the children are in bed. It is thought that the children are in bed, or the children are thought to be in bed. They believe that she will win a gold medal. It is believed that she will win a gold medal, or it is, she is believed to win a gold medal. So usually if the sentences appear in the future, they are kept in the present as well, like in its infinitive form. The only thing is that if it were in the past, you must include to, have, and the past participle, ¿vale? Si la oración apareciese en pasado, la subordinada, para crear ese infinitivo tendríamos que poner to, have, y el past participle. You'll have some extra exercises to practice just below, and I imagine that you are now a bit more familiar with this structure. And this said, after watching this video, you must be able to recognize what impersonal passives are, what is its structure, and above all, its usefulness. So please stop saying people say and start saying it is said that. Apart from that, you must also be able to create two different types of impersonal passives. Remember, the one with it, it's much more common in Spanish or makes more sense, but the other one, despite its uniqueness, let's say, it's quite common and widely used in English. As always, you'll find some extra practice in the description of the video, and in case you still have some doubts, please contact me via email. This said, have a lovely and amazing day.